For this project, you'll need some acrylic blanks, the coating of your choice, Dimensional Magic, UV resin. You can use just regular Mod Podge with glitter. It doesn't have quite as nice of a finish to it. Triple thick works really, really well. We'll need some permanent vinyl, some transfer paper, however you want to hang your ornaments, and some glitter in your choice of colors. I've got two 3-inch acrylic rounds here. I get these from a store called Roscoe Innovations here in Canada. They're very nice people. I often order, 20 or 30 at a time. They don't cost too much. Shipping is Canadian shipping. It's not pleasant. So I order quite a few at a time and I just have them around. They're a little bit easier to come by in the States. I know there's a few companies that make them. I'm going to make two different ornaments. I'll make one with a UV resin. UV resin is also hard to get in Canada. It can be really expensive. You can get it off Amazon US and bring it in. I got this off of Etsy. I had a few orders from different places just get canceled because they were out of stock. So I gave up. I ordered on Etsy. She was really, really wonderful. I try not to use it too much. It's probably overkill on something like this. It's not like a keychain where you need the harder coating of resin, but we'll do it for fun because it's a little bit quicker and it dries fast when you use the light. So for the other one, we will be using Mod Podge Dimensional Magic. There it goes. It's a little bit easier to find. I know you can get it at Michael's. It's fairly inexpensive. It's really easy to use in comparison to the resin. It just takes a little bit longer. You do have to let things dry overnight and in stages. So we'll do one of each and compare the two at the end. So we're once again in Cricut Design Space, and I've got 3 ornaments. I got these designs from a website called Design Bundles. They sell a lot of, people make designs and they sell them, and they're pretty cheap. You can buy a lot of stuff at the end of the month. They've got $1 deals. I do buy a lot of stuff on Etsy. I do design my own. I just don't always find it worth the time to do it when I can just get a couple of designs quite cheaply. There's so much out there right now. So what I'm doing right now is I've got, these ones have some really intricate tiny cuts. For the size of my ornaments, I'm just either removing it or increasing the size of some of the small stuff so I get a good cut and it looks better. I'm just going to highlight that and ungroup. I'm just going to take the elements that I want and make them a little bit bigger. Like with the other ornaments, the template is 2.8. My ornaments are 3 inches. I usually make the vinyls a little bit smaller so they're a little bit easier to apply and don't go directly edge to edge. That one down here. We're just going to fiddle with this a little bit until we get exactly what we want before we send it for cutting. Making some of the smaller pieces bigger, getting rid of a bunch of the little tiny ones, and modifying the colors. I think the gold that I have wouldn't look good on the glitter that I've chosen, so I've changed it all to just red, white, and green. Here's my 3 images. I'm just going to hide the 3 circles in the background. And I wanted to cut just like this. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to locate everything in a certain color and attach it. Next we'll do white. This way when it cuts on the mat, it will cut just like this, and it's not going to try to save vinyl by cutting everything in discombobulated. Lots of white.
and attach. And now the green. And attach. And if I got that all correct, when we go to make it, everything should be exactly where it needs to be. Perfect.
She's waiting for love to be realized. I'll send her my heart covered as a gift and hope that you'll.
Alright, so the first one we're going to try. So for the first one we're going to use the Dimensional Magic. Acrylics, whether they come clear looking like this or with a brown paper covering, they've got a protective sheet on them. These ones are a little bit easier to lift. I always do the glitter before I do the vinyl on the other side because glitter can be messy. So for this I'm just going to add some Dimensional Magic into a cup and mix the glitter directly in. I find this is a little bit less messy. I don't want to add any bubbles to it. The downside to Dimensional Magic is you can get bubbles in your finished product. Let's go green. Holy glitter that fell out of there.
She's waiting for love to be realized. I'll send her my heart covered as a gift and hope that you'll take it into her side.
So doing it this way and putting the glitter in the product and kind of encapsulates the glitter nicely. For the next one we'll do the UV resin. So I've got my acrylic blank and I've got just a cheap sun lamp from Amazon. It's just a cheap nail lamp that turns on. Again, we'll remove the cover. And we'll put some resin in the dish. And we'll add bunch of fine red glitter.
Over the hills and far from mine, she's waiting for love to be realized. I'll send her my heart covered as a gift, and hope that you'll take it into her
Same thing, we're going to blow out the bubbles with a lighter. It's not too bad. And we're going to let it sit for a minute so it self-levels nicely before we cure it. The resin gives such a nice sparkly finish. It really does. And we're going to stick it under the dryer for a couple of minutes. And make sure it's nice. Okay, now we have everything weeded. Here's my blanks. This one was the Dimensional Magic. This one still has the coating on it. And this one was the resin. They're fairly similar. There's a slight difference that I'm sure you can't see. This one feels a little bit rougher. That's all. They're both pretty consistent. So is it worth using the UV resin? If you put another dome coat on it for fun, probably. But for Christmas, I wouldn't go much further than this. They're just going to go on the tree for a little bit. They're not going to be... Now we're just going to get some, transfer paper. For these ones, I'm just going to use the clear transfer paper.
Novum Hydro has some. For like 5 feet each.
And that's my resin one. And there's my other dimensional magic. So resin on this side, dimensional magic on this side. From this direction, you can't even tell the difference. They both look amazing. And again, you can leave them just like this. The permanent vinyl will last. Or you can cover them just so they don't, just for a little extra in either the resin or the dimensional magic. And there's the third one. It's actually quite red. The camera's not quite picking up how the beautiful red that it is. You could do an extra layer of glitter or add more glitter to the concoction when you're doing it. There it is. You can see it's beautifully sparkly. You can see when you use the Diamond Magic, there's a little bit of, it's a little bit bumpy where the vinyl is. It self-levels a little bit more than the UV resin would. I have an example here of a keychain that I made, and this one's got resin on both sides, and it doesn't have that bump. It just has the bubble effect. But for a Christmas ornament, you're not going to get beat around in your purse. This is more than enough, and it gives a beautiful, you can see how shiny finish. And this one here. There it goes. That's more the color that it is. Absolutely beautiful and super easy. They really, really are easy.